Hey there, YouTube. Darstacker here. Today's interview is with Daniel from Portsmouth Coin and Currency. It's an LCS in Ohio. He also runs CoinHelpU, the YouTube channel, and he has a Facebook page. In the interview today with Daniel, he gives a lot of the background information and inside info into owning and operating a coin shop. A very interesting guy, very cool guy. Hope you take the time to check out the full interview. I had to clip the end of the interview because he accidentally spilled some information he's not quite ready to divulge yet. Very cool developments. Stay tuned for that. When he's ready to divulge that information, we're going to do part two. We'll probably do it live. So that'll be a first time for me. So stick around and enjoy the interview. Check out the links in the description for his info.
There is a great disturbance in the force.
Don't know the power of the dark side.
Hey there, YouTube. Darstacker here. Today I'm doing an interview with Daniel from CoinHelpU. He owns and operates a coin shop in Ohio. It's called what's the name of your website?
Portsmouth Coin and Currency Company.
Okay, I'll put a link in the description for that. You also have quite a community of people that in your auction help. What's it called?
Yeah, I have Facebook groups. I actually have a coin community and a coin help you, which is the coin help community. And obviously my YouTube channel. I have, over 50 some thousand subscribers.
Yeah, you got quite a following. And I have to tell you, like two things that I noticed about your stream right away. One, your extreme positivity. I always say, have a great day to everywhere I go. And I notice you do that too. And that's awesome. And the fact that you open up the industry for us to see all the behind the scenes machinations, I think it's really cool.
Thank you.
So I appreciate all the hard work you put in there. Like
sure. That was the goal. It's tough because I get up 5:30 in the morning and I go to bed at 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock, and nonstop. I might take a break here or there, go for a ride, something like that. With my wife, maybe watch a little TV, but that's about it. It's all a lot of hard work. I mean, it's the only way you can make it. This is not an easy business to make a living in.
For sure. Well, we're going to get into that in the questions here in a moment. But why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, first off, my grandpa was a original American picker, and he went all over the country finding antiques, looking for gold and gems and whatever. And whenever I was born, of course, they had a little grocery store, and he always bought and sold antiques. Even my great grandma was also with him in that. And I grew up around collectibles and coins and that kind of thing. And he had a coin shop with my dad when my dad married my mom. And I used to want to be in the coin shop all the time. I wanted to handle things and play with things. And of course, then eventually my dad opened up another coin shop with a couple other partners, but he was never full-time. He was always part-time. And then of course, 1980 hit and the silver just blew up and gold blew up at the time. And we all know the story of that. If you're a stacker or anything to do with silver or been around since 1980, you know what happened there. So I used to hang out with Dad and want to be like Dad. I have my little sweater vest and his coin shops. And yeah, I've got a picture somewhere when I was 12 or 10, and I wanted to be just like him. So I hung out with him with the flea markets, grew up, baseball cards, stamps, you name it, anything that I could make a buck on. I went to a flea market and sold it, and Dad would take me to a couple of coin shows here and there, but he was still part-time, and of course in my 20s, and that's what I try to tell people, when you're in your 20s, not everybody's going to be interested in coins, even if you grew up in the business. It doesn't mean it's the end of coin collecting or stacking or anything in general. I just lost a little interest in it and was involved in other things. I went to college, and then I got a job and I got married and all that stuff. And then when I got into my late 20s, I started discovering eBay. And I started telling Dad, I said, this is like having a flea market online. So we started selling on eBay and really started buying more and advertising more like we were when we were back in the 90s and 80s when Dad was doing it pretty steady. And like I said, I used other coin dealers that were examples of mine. But one of the things that I realized that not everybody online was honest either. And I got burned a few times on buying some unsearched rolls and did different things. I got clean coins when I thought they weren't cleaned and they weren't supposed to be cleaned, fake grading companies. So by the time 2005 rolled around, I'd learned how to do some websites. In 2007, I started CoinHelp website, which is now CoinHelpU, basically, and started as coinauctionshelp.com, which was to help people buy better safely on auctions online. So in 2007 in May, I launched that site. And ever since then, I've wrote articles, and I have started my forum in 2009, just basically informing everyone what not to do online. And from 2000, I think it was about 2009, I've been full-time doing that. I did have a little job somewhere. I had a little bit of an issue with affiliate marketing. eBay changed the way they pay their affiliates, so my pay got cut about 50% from my basically revenue from them. So I found a way to build back into it. And in 2017, I started this coin shop, and I do it all full time. So yeah, it's not been easy. It's just definitely not an easy thing.
No, I imagine not. Like the knowledge level that's required, alone is what blows my mind. Not to mention the time requirements.
Yeah, it does. It takes a lot of time. I never had any formal training in websites. I did get my IT certifications. I went back to school and finished that. So I have some of that stuff, but it's not something that I wanted. I'd rather do this. I mean, this is the most fun for me, is buying and selling coins, helping people with their collections. I just have a passion for it because I grew up doing it. I mean, at least grew up doing around it, being around it.
So at the risk of alienating your fellow coin shop owners, I have a bonus question for you. If you don't want to answer it, I'll edit it out. In my experience, I'll try to ask it as gently as possible. In my experience, a lot of coin shop owners are not very good at customer service, to put it nicely. You are exactly the opposite. I imagine you seem very personable, nice guy. I don't think you take advantage of anybody. Why are there so many jerks running coin stores?
I tell you this. I've honestly, when I was a kid, and there were certain coin shops that we went to, or coin shows, and Washington Courthouse was huge at one time for all the coin dealers got there. Silvertown, I mean, you name it, they were all there. And when I remember some of the older guys that seemed to be kind of grouchy and, just kind of like standoffish, or, had their cigars. And I said, I never want to be a coin dealer like that. I want to be different. I know I'm trying to work into the answer here. I'm not always nice. And what I mean by that is that sometimes people come in and their attitude reeks. And you just know that no matter what you say to them, they're not going to be nice to you, or they're not going to like what you said. And they're probably one Google review away from trying to trash your 5 stars.
Oh yeah.
And you know that, okay? And it's funny because this business, it's almost like playing poker, because you can start learning to read people, and you just about know if someone's actually sizing you up. And I know a lot of people think they're really good at it and they can hide it and disguise it. You're not going to do it with a seasoned coin dealer very often. They're good at it too. But I guess I should say this. There are jerks in every single vocation there is.
True.
You can walk into a police station, or you can walk into a fire station, or you can walk into whatever. Prison. And you will find people who are just jerks. You can walk into Long John Silver's. Sometimes customer service sucks. You can walk into McDonald's. It's the same thing. I don't think coin dealers are anything special when it comes to that. I just think there's less of them. And when you have so many people going to a coin shop, they've got to deal with the public a lot. And then you do have some people that are just sociopaths. I mean, they're just that way, and they happen to be in the coin business.
Yeah.
I don't think in general, if you walk in with a smile on your face and you're actually respect the coin shop owner, that you're going to get an attitude most of the time. You still can get an attitude. I understand that. But I don't think you would if you just went in there just as yourself. Don't have any expectations that you're going to get ripped off. Don't have any expectations that the coin dealer is going to be a jerk in the first place. Get rid of preconceived notions and your confirmation bias when it comes to the coin dealers, and go in there with a clean slate and say, let's just see. I'm going to go in, and the first thing I'm going to do is smile, introduce myself or something. Just be really nice. I think you'll get more out of a coin dealer and a coin shop than anything, because we're sitting here every day. That door opens, that phone rings, and you just never know who is going to be on that line or who's going to walk in that door and what they're about, what they're doing. Some people are suspicious. You don't know if they got a gun on them. You don't know. That's just all these things that go into play in a coin shop. You know, you got a lot of coins, a lot of money, and you know, you're going to disappoint people. You know, they've looked at Etsy or Google and they've seen all these ads, and it's one of those things where you just have to clear your mind when someone walks in the door and go up front. And that's how I do it. I clear my mind. I think, you know, these people have no idea about coins, more than likely, and I start off that way. And I start off with a smile when they walk in. So that's how I do it.
Well, I think
I answered that or not. Did I answer that? I mean,
you did. You did. You kind of maybe disagreed with me that on the premise that there are a lot of jerks running coin stores.
Yeah, I mean, they can be, but they're human beings. I'm not saying there are none, but
Correct.
I think I understand some of the reasons why that's the case. You know,
I imagined probably you get a lot of people that don't know anything about coins that are bringing in like one 1979 Lincoln penny that's looked like it's been through a shredder, and they think they got something special. And when you tell them like it's just face value, that they get upset, and that a lot of coin shop owners are on the defensive, just waiting for something like that to happen.
yeah, that's this is what I do. I have a big screen iMac up front, and what I do when they bring something in like that, I ask them if they have any other change in their pocket, and they'll bring out a quarter or whatever it is. I'll get on Google. I will type in, let's say it's a 1981 quarter, and I'll just type in 1981 quarter value. And obviously right at the top, you'll see those ads from Google, and I'll say, look, you know, this just came out of your pocket. We know it's worth a quarter, but this guy on here is trying to sell it for $10,000 or $5,000. I said, you know, if you had something good, I'd be glad to buy it. You know, I would never turn you away if I thought you had something valuable. And I explain it to them. I try to be as patient as possible. It is not easy, because some people come in, and I mean, I've had people walk in and they're just chucking and jiving. I mean, they're like, man, I looked online, man, and they're expecting me to try to rip them off.
Right.
And it's hard to maintain your composure sometimes. You just want to tell them to get out. You know, I'm not interested, you know, but I try not to do that. But, you know, that is one of the things that I do. I've got that big thing up. I show them right on the screen, and I've had them crying. I had one lady come in. She brought in a 1945 walking half dollar, and she had looked online and she had saw a proof value of $400 some, and her mother had died, and this is all they had between them. And she brought it in thinking that, you know, it was worth some money. It's the only thing she had left, and she didn't really want to let it go, but she didn't have any money, needed money for funeral expenses. And I explained it to her, and I showed her what happened and what she had done, and she, you know, she was in tears, and that's very difficult, you know.
I imagine.
You know, and then you still think in the back of your mind, they probably still don't believe me. But why would I let her leave? That's one thing you got to understand. Coin dealer's not going to let you leave with something valuable if he can buy it.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Okay, so what in your personal collection, would you call yourself a stacker, a collector, a prepper, or a flipper? Well, obviously you flip with the shop, but
I think you would call me a glorified flipper.
glorified?
Because I'm a coin dealer, and you don't want to be called just a flipper. I'm a coin broker. If you really want to get down to the terms, I don't stack.
You don't stack?
I don't collect. Now, I do collect damaged coins. I collect counterfeits. I collect anything someone gives me. I have trouble getting rid of gifts. So I have it on my shelf back here. I have a whole stack of stuff. I have copper rounds. I have different things people sent me that I won't sell them.
Huh,
but if I had to collect anything, it would be Morgan dollars or a type set, and I would have the best of the best in those sets. That would what I would do. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the two things that I like. I like type coins that are in AU and up, and I really love Morgan dollars. If you see my videos, I probably got more Morgan dollar videos than I do cent videos, but those are the two most popular coins for most collectors, it seems.
Yeah, Morgans and Mercuries. So do you have any particular feelings on crypto?
I actually have a little bit of crypto, but I got in later on just to have some, but I really don't have much of an opinion on it. I'll tell you what is wrong with crypto is everybody trying to push it. There's people that are really scamming people in that business, and you know, you got to watch that out. And they're actually put a lot of links on my videos. I have to, you know, hide them from the channel because you don't know if these guys are legit or not, because all you have to do is you can buy Bitcoin. I mean, you just sign up for it, get you a wallet or whatever. I think it's just going to be another alternate form of paying and maybe investing a little bit, making some money. People do that bit mining, so they make money doing that. I think anything that you're investing in, there are some things that are long-term, but it's just like gold and silver or anything else. You go do some short-term and to hedge and to make some money now. I think that's a good idea. I mean, we both know what happened with silver and gold today. I know that's probably another question, so I'll stick with the crypto. I mean, if that's your thing, I don't have a problem with it. It's just another form. I'm open-minded about all of it.
So I can probably guess from watching your videos and just the answer you just gave about your feelings on prepping.
Well, I don't have anything wrong with prepping, but I think if you want to prep, you need to be buying ammo, guns, water, salt, flour, anything that's going to help you survive, because if anything really goes down, they're going to try to take your silver, or it's not going to be nothing. I mean, it's going to be less valuable if you're trying to survive. I don't think we're heading for a zombie apocalypse. And even if we had a civil war in this country, you could kind of guess what's going to happen. I mean, not everybody's going to be involved in it. I mean, people like their toys, they like their stuff. So you're going to be holed up in your house protecting your family is what's going to happen. So silver is not going to be much of a factor, or gold. And then if something happened, I'm trying to envision anything short of an alien invasion that would actually cause the United States of America to be overthrown and the currency to be zero. I don't see anything else that could happen. I mean, if China tries to do their thing, or any other country, I'm not going to single out anybody. I just mean if there's only so many countries out there that are strong enough to actually go to war with us and have an impact. And if that ever happened, I just can't see the United States being defeated to the point where we're nothing anymore. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it'd have to happen slowly over time, and it wouldn't happen because of a war on the ground or anything like that. Someone would have to come up with some great invention that annihilated the entire United States people, but left everything else intact, Yeah. I mean, I'm a sci-fi fan, so I can think of all this stuff, but it's not like Rome. Okay. We're not like back in history, because we are global now, and every part of the world is populated by populations of people. We're 7-some billion. I say almost 8 billion strong now. So we're living in uncharted territory. You can't really use history, even though the history does repeat itself in some ways, but on a large scale level, we're living in a time when it's never been like this before. And our currency, I mean, USD is not just paper. People think it's just a piece of paper. It's not. It's actually, people use it in other countries as a security. I mean, just like they would gold or silver, they invest in it. They rely on it to be strong. They use it for trade. So it's a lot more. It's not more important than just that little dollar bill we spend. It's more than that. And here I am, a coin dealer, trying to talk about economics. Trust me, I'm not the expert on it, but I do a lot of reading.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That the people in other countries they stack U.S. dollars.
Yeah, even some of them over gold. People don't realize that. I mean, some people don't, but they do. That's a fact.
True. So the topic of the moment, the spot price. One
thing before we go further, I do want to mention that there was an article that I read that $100 bills are in demand, and that they print so many of them, but they literally, I forget, there's a couple countries, but it is growing that they collect $100 bills because they're a larger denomination and it's United States money. And they have printed so many, but yet they're not all accounted for. There was something on the article. I wish I had that link. Maybe we can't add that. But anyways, there is something to do with the $100 bills.
So what the topic of the moment is spot prices. Can you give us your opinion on the turbulent up and down, way up, way down today?
I always tell people that when you see movements like this, I think it dropped $4 today. Right. That's probably about 2 billion ounces of silver. If you go to COMEX and do some math, I think it's a couple billion ounces of shorts that were sold, because people buy the shorts and the futures. They have their options, and you can go into COMEX and you can see how many was bought and sold. You can see the dips and the highs. A lot of people think that this is just basically kind of a correction. It was up and then it goes down, then it'll come back up. I think it will come back up. We're in an election year cycle, and I honestly think that by the election, we're going to probably see $30. I hope. I like seeing it strong. I like seeing it going up, silver especially. but I'm not saying it's ever going to stay up. But my opinion on it, as far as when it does go up, I think people need to sell some of what they have. If you don't want it, this was a great time to really sell it, because you could have made a lot of money if you didn't want it. Now, a lot of people say, well, you said everybody to sell it at $1,500. When it went up $100 an ounce and it was selling for less than melt, yes, I would recommend someone selling it if you don't want it. If you like staying at long term, you love having your stacks, keep them. I don't ever tell someone to sell something if they want to keep it. But, it's not really the best time to buy when it's up. But you see a lot of that going on and the demand that's going on right now. Like I said, if this lasts for a few more days, the demand's going to go down a little bit, I would have to think. I know the president came out and said a few positive things, and that caused a lot of the sell-off too, I think. And of course, they're always looking for a reason.
Right. Yeah.
I think, is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Well, the drivers of what's making the chaotic.
Yeah, I just think there's some positivity. And a lot of people think it's because they print more money or because the dollar's not strong or went down. It's not the truth if you really look at it. The dollar increased a little bit and silver and gold kind of stayed the same. And then, of course, last night it started dropping. And I think a lot of that had to do with, I think when you see someone say something positive, like they say the president, for instance, or something positive happens, period, people kind of sell it off. I don't know if it's just an excuse to sell or whatever it is, but it's almost like a herd mentality. Everybody's on the phone. They are on their computers or whatever, or they've got it set to where their stop limits. You can have it sell when it hits 29 something. You can have it sell off for so much of it, 10 or 20% of your shorts.
Right.
So you can make a little bit of money right then and there. You make some few million if you own enough. I think that's pretty much what happened. You see it. And I'm sure it'll rebound. I'm surprised it hasn't started rebounding yet. I would think it would a little bit.
Yeah, I would say tomorrow's probably
not much of a speculator. I buy and sell on the fly. So I buy it for what I have to buy it for now to sell it. And that's how I do it.
I ask all the people, all my interviewees, ask them, what's your white whale? The piece that's eluded you for as long as you've been stacking and collecting because of price or availability.
It's something that I could get. I haven't yet. You'd be surprised. I want a graded pine tree shilling. I don't know why I like those coins. I like colonial coins. I know that I should have said the 95 proof Morgan dollar. Maybe that is one of them too, but right now I've got my eye on pine tree shillings. I've been watching them on Heritage. I've been looking at the coin shows to see if one comes around, and then almost pulled the trigger at the Sharonville show. Almost bought a 1793 wreath large set. It looked really nice. The ANA president was there, captain there. He had one, and I could see the whole date, and it really okay price. It's a little high, but I thought, man, I ought to get that just to have it. And then I just didn't do it. I'm trying not to collect, but the more I do the videos and the channel, I appreciate collectors. And I hired Andy to do the packing and shipping and help me out with other things at the shop. And he was a friend of mine and a customer, and he's a collector. And every time we buy something, he says, you want to put that back. And I'm like, do not do this. So he's having a bad influence on me. Of course, my dad's a hoarder too. So,
So how do you get, how would somebody get the knowledge to be a coin store operator? You need to know so much across so many different categories. It's basically, it would have to be a lifelong pursuit.
Well, this is what I have to say. Before anybody can be a coin dealer in my book, you need to have honesty and integrity. And if you don't have that, don't get in the business. I won't ever give anybody any advice if I don't think you have honesty and integrity. The other thing is being humble. The more you know, the more I'm in this business, the less I realize I knew in the past. And, you have to have some humble pie. The other thing is that you have to be willing to listen to people who know better than you. And you need someone to basically mentor you. So if you have coins and you're interested in becoming a dealer, my advice is to get a table at the coin show, wherever you can go, befriend as many coin dealers as you can, and learn. That's the best way of doing it. You're going to need some capital, obviously, but if you got some coins to sell, you don't even have to sell them, but you need to learn. There are some wholesale dealers at some of the shows you could buy from. Your margins are lower doing that, but you can do it. So that's what I think it takes to be a coin dealer. And like you said, there are some jerks out there that are coin dealers, and there's some unscrupulous coin dealers that'll take advantage. I'm not saying all of them are like that, because I've not had the experience. I've not been ripped off by a coin dealer. I've been ripped off of people online, but straight up to a coin dealer, I can't really say they've ripped me off. I might have known a little better about coin grading than he did, and he sent me a coin and it wasn't what I thought it was. But as long as they give you a refund, because I buy a lot of sight unseen. I know people think that's crazy, but if you don't have trust, you burn me once, burn me twice, I'm not going to let you keep burning me,
Yeah. Have you ever had so somebody comes in with a piece and says, I won't take less than $100 for this piece, and you realize that it's worth $1,000. No, I can't only give you 100. I'm going to give you 950.
I've done that quite often.
Really?
Yes. Matter of fact, my former partner, whom he just wanted to get out of the business and retire and start until all this COVID happened, and now he's kind of back in it a little bit with me. As he kind of helps in the shop, and he buys and sells when I can't go and travel and stuff. He tried to bring stuff into me. He knows what the stuff's worth, but he wants the coin shop to succeed. And if he got a good deal on it, he brings it to me. Well, I know some things that he doesn't know about grading and different pricing and stuff like that, because I'm doing this all the time. And I said, look, I can give you more for this. And he's like, no, this is what I want. I try. And I have people do that. I have some people come in and want a price. I try to pay them more if it's worth more. I would be very difficult to buy a coin for $100 that was worth $1,000. Maybe an AU 5894 Morgan dollar would be an example of that. It's going to be probably close to $1,000 in that area. And someone come in and wanted to sell it to me for $100, I would try my best. I had an example of someone bringing in a bag of coins, and he said, my friend told me to come to you because you are honest and upfront and highly recommended. He put the piece dollars, the whole bag of them, down on the table, or my glass case up front, and I started pulling them out. And I noticed a 26. I noticed a 27. They were circulated, but they're worth a little more than a 23 and a 24, and a 22. And then I started noticing what looked like 28s, and I thought, hang on a second. So I weighed them and tested them and everything, and everything seemed to be okay on them, but they were kind of dark because, they were toned up and banged up a little bit. So I pulled them out. There was 11 of them, and I could have easily bought them off them for whatever I wanted, but I paid him extra for those. I paid him a good price for them. And I thought they might look like they might be uncirculated, and they ended up being uncirculated. I sent them all off. I had 3 cleaned, and 8 of them came back mint state 62.
Nice.
I did the video on them.
What's the best part of being a coin shop owner operator?
There's a lot of positives about it. Obviously, doing something that you love, making a living at it. It's kind of just the fun of doing that is what I like, because I grew up doing it, buying and selling coins. It's kind of a hustle thing that I really enjoy, and it's in my blood. So that's main reasons. There's other reasons, as far as you get to handle some of the nicest coins in the world, or at least you think they are at the time. The challenge, the gamble, sending coins off for grading, finding a little diamond in the rough here and there, maybe a variety. Being with my dad, because my dad works here. So yeah, that's kind of like my dream. I always wanted to have a coin shop with my dad growing up, and now I've got it. So it's a realization of a dream. I'll be 50 in less than a month. And yeah, that's the main reason right there.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I imagine the worst part might be like we talked about, some of those rude customers that come in, or maybe the person who comes in and says, great grandpa gave me this coin, it's gold, I know it's worth thousands of dollars, and it turns out to be plastic or something. You got to tell them it's a fake.
That's the hardest part about the whole job. I've had so many people in tears, because this is one of the things that people don't realize. I get some negative comments on my videos based off of me doing a video against HSN, or one of these, flyers that come in the mail trying to sell stuff overpriced. When a grandma and a daughter comes in, and their dad was buying this stuff, and they've got the receipts, and they're standing there, and you're telling them that he overpaid for it. They're grieving, and they looked up to him. And you think of your husband sometimes, or your wife, or if you're a daughter or a son, you think of your dad or your grandpa as a knowledgeable, well to put together person, and you find out that they were basically fleeced, just taken or ripped off. It's hard. It's almost like all over again they're facing something that they didn't want to face, and that the coins are worth a lot less. Wasn't such a great investment, and it kind of hurts them because they kind of feel sorry for their deceased family member. That it's kind of a mixed emotion thing, and that is the hardest part about this job. Seeing writing and stuff on 2x2s that something's rare or is valuable, and here it's a clean piece of nothing. I mean, sometimes you'll see dealers' names and phone numbers on it that are still in business. It's sad. I have to say that is the hardest part for me. I'm genuinely sympathetic and empathetic because, my grandpa passed away, left coins to the family. And, I see these people and they really, hopefully they got a home run or he left them a good nest egg and it's worth half as what they thought it was, Yeah. I don't know how I can explain that, but you kind of feel sorry for a deceased relative and you're already upset that they passed away. Yeah.
And insult to injury.
Yeah. Insult to injury. That's a good way to put it. Putting some salt in the wound there.
Yep.
And then I don't understand why HSN or some of these companies that they've never been exposed to it. They just don't care. But if they haven't stood there and face a relative, I don't know. I don't know how you can not have a heart.
The separation of being on TV or over the internet probably saves them a lot.
It does. It does. It is because it's just you're basically just a number. You're a credit card number.
Right. So you what year did you say you started your YouTube?
I started my YouTube in 2018.
Okay.
I started in July. I had CoinOp came to the Sharonville show, Dustin Morgan, and he wanted to do an interview because he knows that I do Facebook groups and I had a reputation there. And then I have my website that he's used pictures off of and some examples from. I had it up since 2007. So he sat me down. We did an interview, and I thought this is something I could do. This is a good format to reach people. What if I could get subscribers? And it was tough. It took me a while.
It's a grind.
But yeah, you can do it. I mean, it's just, you got to keep at it,
Well, you got 52,000 subs. That's a heck of a lot, especially in our hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, at one time, you never thought that when I started, I don't think there was only one, and it wasn't all coin channel that actually had 100,000. And the last 2 years, I've noticed the YouTube channels have grown. Couch Collectibles grew crazy. JB's coins. There's a couple other ones that I saw. I know CoinOp's over 100. I know that Blue Ridge Silverhound's over 100. I think Half Dollar, Make You Holler. I think they're pretty close if they're not already. So I think recently, and actually YouTube channels have been positive for the coin community for the most part, especially those channels I just mentioned. They might confuse some people because some people aren't paying attention. They're saying graded coins, and it causes some forums to be overloaded with people thinking they got a gem when they don't. I get that. But as far as making the coin collecting exciting, bringing some like interest to the coin community, I mean, like Silver Seeker, he's a great guy. And we had him on one of our lives when we had CoinOp. And yeah, he does like a game show kind of thing. And I think that's good for the community. I think it's got people interested in it more and more. We've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers now overall, maybe even 1 million total when you count all of them together. I think that's really good for coin collecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know some of the auctions people see that coins go for a little more than they should, but you got to understand they could just do a super chat instead and pay the channel for nothing. At least they're getting a coin, even though they're overpaying for it a little bit. You're getting something. And you might get a card or a sticker or a little pin or something for that channel that you support and you like. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, well, I do auctions.
Yeah, I saw that.
A couple of friends that I'm pretty tight with, stacking Stormtrooper. I told you about Guido stacking, Yankee stacking. Are you familiar with him?
No, I'm not. Well, hold on. I think I might have heard the name. Yes, I met a lot of them at the Sharonville show. They had like 45 people from the YouTube community come to that show. We had a meet and greet. I don't know if you saw that or not, but on CoinHelp, there's 3 videos of that. And then I did a video on my channel for the Sharonville show. I did a couple of them. I did one from a motel room. And I encourage anybody that's out there who wants to come to a good coin show next year, Sharonville, if everything goes good, nothing else crazy happens, to come to that show, because it's kind of may become a YouTube mecca for all of us YouTube coin community to get together.
Well, I'm in the Detroit area, so you're about 4.5 hours away, I think.
Yeah.
It'd
be great to see you to come to that show. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to try and think about just taking a trip down there just to hang out at your shop, but 4 hours is kind of far.
It is. I understand, though. I mean, I've had people do it. I actually had from Champaign, Illinois, a guy came in to sell me some stuff who wanted to meet me, had known me for a while online, and he had to sell his collection. He had a couple things happen, So people have drove here all the way from other countries. Actually, Nevada. I've had someone come in who's from Maine, I think it was. I've had a few people come and meet me. They have, family or something, and they was driving through and they wanted to stop.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I had a couple come from Alabama. The one that had the double ear, I don't know if you saw that, where he sold it online. He found it in a roll, the double ear. He came up from Alabama, and I handled that for him.
So did you purposefully kind of push to get that many subs, or just kind of happen organically, or how did that work? How did that happen?
I have my Facebook group, and I held a contest for every 100 subscribers. I'd have a contest in my Facebook group live, and I would draw names until I got to 1,000. And once I got to 1,000, it's organic. I just asked people to sub, and it just took off from there. Once I reached 1,000, I started in July. December rolled around, and I had December 31st. I reached my 1,000th, and I met my goal. It took a while. I really started gaining, I think, in November when I look at my analytics, and by December I reached my goal. So I gained more in November and December than I gained in all the months before from July 2018. Somehow I must have gotten to an algorithm. I did a couple of videos that did really good, and I started getting picked up by YouTube more, and my videos were starting to be recommended more. And by I think it was February, the end of February, I had my 4,000 views. I had probably 2,000 or 3,000 subscribers at that point, and it's been history since then. So it has a lot to do with YouTube picking you up, I think.
And well, you have quality content. You have a lot of good information that anyone in our hobby, just has to have. It's required.
Yeah, I did find my stride. The other thing is my channel didn't start out to be a channel for Coin Dealer behind scenes. When I bought the shop out when I started, let's see, I forget when I really started doing the Inside Coin Dealer thing, but I really started pushing that in January this year more. But last year I did a little bit of that, but it was kind of separate from the coin shop because I had a partner and we were 50-50, and he wasn't interested in videos or anything like that. And I didn't want to say too many things because it was his business too, So he's actually in full support. I mean, surprisingly, when he saw it helped our business, he was all in for it. He said, "You know what?" He said, "This business is all you." He says, "I'm planning on getting out of this." He said, "So this is the future. You don't need me." It's not true. I need him. He's a good friend. He just didn't know it.
Cool. All right, man. Well, I really appreciate your time. I know you're pressed for time tonight, but I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm glad to do it. I'm glad to meet you. I'm another fellow YouTuber, man, trying to make it. And I'll definitely promote this video for you and hopefully get you some subs and things like that.
I appreciate it.
You get your 1,000, man. That's once you get your 1,000, it feels good. You're like, man, fun. And then you get your 4,000 hours, and then you're in there.
Yeah, I think I'll stop sweating it after I get 1,000.
Well, you're doing the right thing. I mean, I've seen a lot of. You have some other interviews, and I'll tell you the truth. What I would like to do in the future here, I think doing it live would be a really good idea for you. The thing about that is if you have the live and I tell people and we plan it ahead, an hour ahead, you can get a lot of viewers on that. and I think it'd be a good thing. So just like I said, you can hit me up, and if I got the time, I'll sure try to help.
Okay, yeah, because I had probably 3 times the number of questions that I gave you, so we can do a part 2 and a part 3, no problem.
Sure, man. I mean, like I said, I got a little more time if you want to do any more, but that's fine. It's up to you. I don't mind.
Well, that's all I got prepared for now, and
Sure.
we got the base questions in, but I'm fascinated with the whole aspect of coin shop operations, and I know it's more than just buying and selling. So, buy low, sell high.
Yeah.
So like I said, I really appreciate your time, and it was great to talk to you, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Same here, man.
All right,
Cool.
thanks.
Hey, see you later.
See ya.
Bye.